Assalamu alaikum, guys. Hope you all are doing well. Today I'm going to talk about a book that I have finished reading like 3 or 4 days ago, and the name of the book is 3 Days to See. It is written by an American author named Helen Keller. So before we talk about the book, let's talk about the author, who is Helen Keller. So Helen Keller is an American author, disability rights advocate, political activist, and a lecturer. So what is actually special about Helen Keller? So how was she different? So when she was 19 months old, she got really, really sick and she ended up losing her eyesight and hearing ability. And since that, she had lived her life as a complete blind and deaf person. So did you hear that? Blind and deaf person, a person who cannot see and who cannot hear. But that doesn't stop her to achieve what she was meant to achieve. At the age of 24, she got a bachelor's of art degree from Radcliffe College of Harvard University and becoming the first deaf and blind person to achieve a bachelor's of arts degree. And not only that, she wrote 12 books. Can you believe that? Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I'm completely fine with my eyesight and hearing, but I don't think that I can write 12 books. She was deaf and she was blind, but she wrote 12 books. She gave hundreds of speeches. She wrote hundreds of essays. She advocated for blind people's women's suffrage, labor rights, and world peace. Isn't that amazing? And not only that, she visited 35 countries. How many countries have you visited so far? For me, I just visited 2 countries. And she was a complete blind and deaf person. She visited 35 countries advocating for blind people. And on top of that, she learned how to read and speak and understand other people's speech. Like, I mean, how? I can't even think of this. Like, how can a blind and deaf person learn to read, speak, and understand other people's speech? Like, I mean, like, if I close my ears, I cannot hear anything. So how will I understand if someone is talking something to me? How will I understand if I close my eyes, I can't see anything, right? So how can I read? How can I look at people's faces and how can I see like what's going on around? Isn't that a miracle? How is that even possible? So here the question comes, how did she achieve all these things, which I think like a normal person like me can never achieve that many things in his or her life? So the answer is that she actually learned using her fingers, touching things and feeling things. But still, again, like, I mean, I can't believe that. Like, how can I read things? Let's say if I touch my face, okay? So how can I say that a person is, like, what is the person saying? Or if a person is angry or happy or whatever, or if I touch something, let's say this chair, then how will I figure out that it's a chair? Isn't that like totally unbelievable? So yeah, she learned by touching things and feeling things. So she only used her fingers and she learned to read. So there are actually like specific types of characters for people, for blind people and deaf people. We call it braille, which kind of like they can read with their fingers and they can like recognize the letters and then yeah make it into words and then sentences and understand like the whole reading things. And when she was learning, her teacher were assisting her in learning these things. And she has one teacher, Anne Sullivan. She was a great lady, so patient and so knowledgeable. And she was, I think, the one who opened the doors for Helen Keller's to the rest of the world and to all these achievements. And in that book, they say that she actually told her story in that book, that how did she learn all these things. So she said that she would put her fingers in her teacher's mouth in order to understand how her teacher moves her lips, her tongues, and her jaws, and then she would repeat the same things. Like she would move her jaws, tongues, and lips the same way in order to produce the same kind of sounds of word or a letter or whatever it is. And she would put her fingers on people's faces, whoever was talking to her. She would kind of like trying to feel that person's face and throat, because when we talk, you can see here, our vocal cords vibrates, right? And we can see like the sounds. If I'd say like A, B, C, so she was kind of like feeling the vibrations with her fingers, and then recognize the letters, like what letter a person is pronouncing, and then the combination of those letters makes a word. So yeah, she was kind of like doing those things, like putting her fingers on people's throat, face, and lips, and her teacher would allow her to put her fingers in her mouth in order to better understand, because she was teaching her how to speak. Because a blind person cannot, they cannot hear and see, so you cannot show them anything in order to make them learn, and you cannot, tell them to do. So that was the only way to teach her how to speak and how to read. And she said that she loves to listen to music, and she will listen to music using her fingers, feeling the vibrations, and she knew songs, and she enjoyed listening to songs and music, and she recognized it. And all those things are, with the help of her fingers, her feelings and touching, and yeah, those kind of things. So personally, like, I found this really miraculous and really, 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 really inspirational, motivational, and interesting. Like, I mean, if you think about herself, in that book, she said that most of us have taken, these gifts given by the God for granted. Like, we don't even realize that we have eyes and we can see. We don't even realize that, we can hear, we have ears, and we are not actually using these facilities up to the best of its potential, right? Like, we sometimes things will be in front of us and we won't see it, because we don't know how to use these facilities. For example, our eyes, our ears, and the other kind of sense of smell, touch, yeah, and all those things, which we are, gifted with by birth, most of us, alhamdulillah. She said that if she has got like eyesight for 3 days, she would arrange a course teaching people how to use their eyes and their ears, because most of the time she would talk to people, like normal people, and they would say, oh, we didn't see that, we didn't experience that, we visited there and there was nothing special, nothing interesting. And she would wonder, like, why? Like, I visited 35 countries and I have discovered a lot of interesting things. Like, there is an array of things that, hey, that is interesting, that is meaningful, that is like, you can learn a lot of things from. But like the normal people, she said that what is wrong with the normal people? Like, why are they not using their eyes and their ears? Like, I don't have them, but I'm still kind of trying to use them, and like finding alternative to do those things. But yeah, and she was actually right. Like, we don't actually realize how precious and how capable we are of doing things and achieving things. So at the end, I'm going to share some of her famous quotes from this book, which I found it like really, really interesting, and which have really intrigued me. So the first one is, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. And this is amazing. Like, this is totally, totally true. Like, I mean, yeah, like, if you think about this quote, this is so profound. There is a lot of things to learn only from this single quote. Like, yeah, the best and the most beautiful thing must be felt with the heart. You cannot see them, you cannot even touch them. And that's like exactly right. And here comes the second quote from this book. She said that the only worst thing than being blind is to have sight but no vision. Yes, like as I give you an example of us, like normal people, we have all these facilities. We can see, we can hear, but we don't know how to use them, right? We don't know how to use them, and we don't have any vision of life, actually. So she said that the only worse thing than being blind is to have sight but no vision. So isn't that really, 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 really profound? I mean, like, this book is amazing, amazing. Like, in this book, she has she has shared her whole life experience, like how did she overcome all these difficulties, and how, like, her whole journey of life, achieving all these things. And then at the end, she wrote, like, if she has only 3 days, where she can only see, not hear, then what would she do? So the last three parts of that book is like all of those things that she would do if she has sight for 3 days. And another thing that she said, that like it would be good if everybody has, deprived of the eyesight and the hearing ability at least once in their adulthood, so that they can realize the importance of these things, and so that they can learn how to use all these things, all these facilities, actually. So guys, I would literally like recommend this book to you. It's not a very big book. It's just a thin book, but it's really amazing. If you have time, go find this book and read it. I hope that it will help. All right, guys, so that's it for today. I hope this video will help you, and I'm gonna see you in my next video.